Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Infinite Snap. I'm your host, Richie, also known as ShadowDTV in the online space. And we've actually got a special guest here with us today. Unfortunately, Tom was unavailable to do the podcast today, but he should be back next week. We've got a good friend of mine and the self-proclaimed greatest TCG player. His name is Justin, so he'll be joining us for today. How you doing, Justin?
Yeah, good, thanks. Hey, everyone. How's it going?
Good. Yes, self-proclaimed TCG player. We'll get into that discussion later. What's been happening? What have you been doing this week?
A bunch of work, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
and
like...
bit of Marvel Snap here and there.
Yeah, nice. I know you've been playing it a lot more recently. Did you hit any milestones in Marvel Snap lately?
I did hit Infinite recently.
Yes, very good.
I hit that a couple of days ago, which was good. I also finished the Season Pass today.
Oh, cool. So you hit 50?
Which is cool. Yeah, hit 50.
Yep, hit 50,
so got
nice.
That cool, got the cool Daredevil avatar.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's kind of weird because you think of 50 as like, oh, this is a big milestone, and then it's like, oh, here, have a
Actually,
skin.
the variant.
Yeah, variant. Yeah. Like I don't know. I feel like other games usually it's like, oh, I guess actually no, that is like other games. You get like the cool variant at the end.
Yeah, just cosmetics. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think I finished mine. Yeah, I think I'm at like 52 or 3. So yeah, pretty similar. I just finished it.
Yeah.
Guys, apologies. I did say we were going to be live streaming on Twitch this week, but because Tom was unavailable, I didn't really want to do it without Tom for the first episode live. So we'll definitely try and do it live next week. Guys, we did mention last week that we have opened a Patreon for people that want to like financially support the stream. I did forget to mention that the podcast, I say stream podcast, the podcast will always be free. We have no plans to ever charge for you to listen to us. That'd be really weird for a podcast, in my opinion. I guess you want as many people to listen to it as possible, so it will always be free. But yes, if you do want to, throw a bit of money our way, just to help with giveaways and like paying guests and things like that. There's a $1 tier, so $1 an episode, so nothing crazy. We're not out here like, yeah, give us like $500 a week. So yeah, nothing crazy, but again, don't feel that you have to. It's just for those people that want to, and the link for that will be in the show notes. Check out YouTube. We've got a bunch of YouTube videos on my YouTube channel at ShadowDTV, and we have every episode of the podcast. So go on there if you want to, watch us in video form. Otherwise, listen. I prefer to listen to audio podcasts. It'd be easier when I'm doing stuff, working, things like that. Do you listen to podcasts much, Justin, at work?
I do not listen to podcasts while I'm working.
Yep.
Your podcast, actually, I've been watching it on YouTube, and I've been loving watching you guys while you talk. Yeah.
That's cool. That's very good to hear. Thanks for that. Yeah, I feel like I've always been just a audio sort of guy, just listen to things. But yeah, I've got a lot of feedback that people do like to watch podcasts, which is really cool. I know most podcast shows do it that way, and I've always been like, I don't know, it seems weird. It's an audio podcast, but I guess when you can see things, see reactions, you can see the screen if we're looking at cards, things like that. I guess it does help a lot.
Yeah, if I'm listening and doing something else, then I'm not paying attention to the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. So that's good. Yeah. That's good. Guys, we've also launched an official Twitter for the podcast. So we were just tweeting from our own Twitters. But we've now got it's at Infinite Snap. I need to put it down I need to put it on the screen. We're at Infinite Snap Pod. Unfortunately, Infinite Snap was taken, funnily enough. So yeah, Infinite Snap Pod on Twitter, and we'll be tweeting, all the show stuff on there. So go and follow that. And guys, if you want to share the podcast with a friend, if you're listening and you're enjoying the content, you think you know someone who would enjoy it, send them a link or just let them know about it. All right, let's get into first topic I had for today. Last week we went through some sort of meta stuff and the decks we were playing. I thought we'd go through the locations that were featured again this week, like we did last week. So first one we had after the podcast was the Gamma Lab location, which was a brand new location. It was really interesting. It was really strange, but I think it was actually really fun for deck building. What was your thoughts on it?
Awesome location, Gamma Lab. I love the most about it is you chuck maybe one or two small minions there. They get changed into Hulk, and then it's just a turn 6 Shang-Chi, and you just win.
So you're just Shang-Chiing every game?
Yep, they overcommit. They try and get 3 or 4 guys on that location, and then you just Shang-Chi and you win it.
That's so good. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I played it a bit, and I kind of like, I didn't really build a deck around it. I saw like a lot of decks that were kind of targeted at like abusing Gamma Lab. I didn't really go crazy with like deck building. I just kept playing what I was playing. So like, yeah, nothing too crazy. But yeah, it was a very interesting location. I actually don't think I really seen it since they featured it. I'm assuming.
Me neither.
Yeah, I'm assuming it went into the regular pool, unless it was just like a special thing. I'm actually not entirely sure. I haven't read any patch notes or anything like that.
It should have gone into the pool.
Yeah.
But what I did notice about it is I did actually try and build a deck.
Yep.
For that specific location. I put loads of things in there, and one thing that I found is it Mr. Sinister?
Mr. Sinister. Yeah.
Duplicates himself. The clone stayed at 2 power when he transforms into Hulk.
Do you know that's so funny, because
Which just sucked big time.
that was like the only card that I thought was like, I'm like, oh, that was the first card that came to mind to like just abuse it, like abuse that ability. That had to be a glitch. There's no way that was intended.
Had to be a bug.
Yeah, that's definitely a bug. That's funny. I feel like this was probably one of the more buggy locations that they've featured. Like,
definitely.
I just saw all over Twitter, Reddit, there's just all these issues, which is kind of funny. But you know, they'll get that resolved. I feel like while the game's in beta, these things don't like annoy me as much as they would if it was probably like a different game, I guess. Like I haven't
definitely.
I haven't like had a bug and gone, oh, I'm never playing this game again. It's stuffed. Are you still having the like all the cards going blank bug?
It's never really happened to me. The only one that continues to be bugged is Colossus.
Yeah.
But you know, I've seen screenshots where every single card on board and in hand are blacked out. But no, that hasn't happened to me.
That's so lucky. I kid you not. I reckon it happens to me like once every like 7-8 games at least.
It's super annoying.
Yeah, I reckon it's like 10% of my games end up like that sometimes.
One more thing I was going to say about Gamma Lab is I think we were talking about it with cards like Angela, whether they intended it to or not, but Angela will get a buff from another card being played at that location, get the +2, then transforms into the Hulk, and still maintains that 2+ buff. I kind of think that's how it's meant to work, but yeah, not sure.
I think we had like a big like argument. Like there was a bunch of us in a group chat where we were just all arguing on how it's supposed to work. I think my consensus was that it should turn into an 11 power Hulk. That was my consensus, because it's like, it's not, you know, you add Hulk's power or something like that. It's like you turn into Hulk. So I
was trying to say that the card already got the buff. It's transforming into Hulk, but it also has the 2 power buff. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one. And I saw a bunch of bugs with Sunspot where he would turn into Hulk, but he kept on getting power every turn. So like they would they would end turn, and the four power, let's say it's like 4 energy left, it would go onto the Hulk. So it was actually like, now that I think about it, it was an absolute mess of a location for the few days that it was available. So yeah, that was quite funny. Hopefully all that gets resolved, and we'll figure out what the actual intention of the location is. I'm still going by they just turned into 11 power Hulk. I guess we'll find out.
For sure.
And the other location that we had this week was Sinister London. So not a new location. Sinister London is the one where when you play a card here, you add a copy to another location. So some pretty crazy synergies with this location. I actually did come up. Well, I didn't actually come up with the deck. I had the thought and then didn't bother. And then someone sent me basically him playing that deck. And so I ended up using like a Thor Odin sort of deck where you could like copy Thor, copy Foster. Well, you didn't have to copy Foster, but draw all of the
hammers.
Yeah, the hammers. I literally can't pronounce it. I always try and say Mjolnir, and then I would play them, duplicate those, and then Odin to finish it. And you can't lose.
Awesome. I saw that. Yeah.
That was So I ended up playing that a little bit before Sinister London went away. Did you do anything interesting for Sinister London?
I've got to say, it's probably one of my favorite locations. You can get some crazy combos going. I'll talk about what deck I've been using in a bit, but one cool thing that I've been playing, well, that's in my deck, is Green Goblin. And I love
Ooh.
Sinister London because not only does it double Green Goblin, so puts 2 -3s on their side of the board, but it also takes up one spot in their Sinister London location, which
Yeah.
means they can't duplicate. Yeah, which is awesome.
That's actually insane. I've always like I understood like it duplicates and you put 2 on their side, but you're exactly right. It will block one of their Sinister London
Yeah,
slots.
because everyone wants to clone 4 cards,
That's
4
right.
of their own cards. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually a very, very smart play there. I think it's really cool how the locations kind of can change your thoughts on deck building. Like I would think of Green Goblin normally as like, okay, yeah, I just like block a spot and, you know, they get a little, like, I guess a little nerf to their side of the field. But yeah, when you're like blocking such an important slot, that's like actually super, super meta. That's really cool.
Yeah, it matters. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think other than that, like it was a fine location to feature. You get like the crazy combos are fun, but I find myself I do my crazy combo and I think like there's nothing that beats this, but then I kind of forget that they're duplicating as well. And then like turn 6, they'll play like Odin like does all the abilities, another Odin does all the abilities, and I just lose. And I'm like, I should have seen that coming.
And then also I feel that I overcommit to Sinister London too early, and then by turns 5 and 6, I might only have 1 slot left, which can screw me.
Yeah, and then you got to figure out what you're going to play. Actually, it's funny you say that. That Thor deck that I played, the last turn in a game, he played the Infernaut at Sinister London, duplicated it, and still lost both locations. That's how, like he's probably thinking, how do I lose this? And then I think my Thors got to like 30 plus on turn 6, which was really funny.
That's crazy, but all it needed was a Shang-Chi and you're done.
True, Shang-Chi, and I just lose. Shang-Chi, both locations, finish. Yeah, you know what? And we'll actually talk about that later. I had sort of the question of like the best cards in the game to counter, so we'll go through that later. Now that we're through the locations, before we get on to decks and things that we've been doing, why don't you tell everyone sort of your, I guess everyone kind of knows like mine and Tom's gaming background. What's your like TCG background, I guess?
TCG background, so you and I probably got into playing Arkham. That's not really a trading card game, but that's how I got into kind of a game that's not a video game. I guess that's kind of more like a card/board game. The first trading card game that I probably played was Pokemon back in the day when I was younger.
Yep.
And you got me back into that recently. Probably the past six to 8 months or
it's probably been
like
it's probably almost been a year.
Yeah. So I've been playing that a lot, and a bit of Magic the Gathering Commander we've played.
Yep.
Also played a bit of Keyforge when that was not dead.
What a game!
Such a good game. Still love it.
That's like a company bought it, so we're all here hoping that game comes back.
Yeah. But reason why I claim that I'm the best TCG player is because of Pokemon.
Yeah,
best Pokemon player going around. Played in Melbourne Regionals, which was awesome. Made top 100.
Top 100. I love it.
Out of 300 people.
I mean, hey, that's a top something. I think the joke kind of came around where just everyone always loses to Justin at trading card games, be it because of skill or possibly because of RNG. We'll never know.
Or pay to win.
Pay to win maybe just always playing tier 0 decks. But that's always been our running joke. For anyone who's wondering, when we say Arkham, we're talking about the Arkham Horror, the card game. So there is a board game. Yep. The card game is like a co-op sort of like story mode game. It's actually quite fun. We haven't really played that in a while. We've been just smashing trading card games, Marvel. But yeah, so we should do that sometime. And also I believe you played Battlegrounds for a fair bit.
Yeah, I played Battlegrounds. Yep. I got addicted to that. I played that for a while until it basically became broken.
Yep.
And actually another big mobile game that I play is Clash Royale.
Ooh, yes.
And I kind of compare a lot of things in Marvel Snap to Clash Royale. It's similar how you have to build a deck with, I can't remember what it is, maybe 8 cards in Clash. I can't really remember. I haven't played for a while.
Yep.
But that was a really awesome game. I played that for maybe 3-4 years.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So Marvel Snap's kind of taken over a little bit now.
It's taken over big time.
Hopefully, get at least 3-4 years enjoyment out of it. Where we'll find out in the future. So back to Marvel Snap. What deck have you been playing recently?
So the first season, my first, I don't know, month into the game, I was playing kind of on reveal decks with Odin, I guess. I didn't have many cards. Then when I probably got past pool 2, which is this season, I played discard. I was playing discard deck, Apocalypse, Lady Sif, that kind of thing. But recently, I got into a Magneto deck.
Ooh. So, I do not have Magneto, so let's hear this deck. What sort of, what's its kind of goal, I guess?
It's control. So I've got Nightcrawler, which I reckon's a must in almost any deck. Very versatile.
Yep.
I've got Yondu. The purpose for Yondu, I think, is
just get rid of Chavez.
You don't play him straight away. You wait a little bit, because it gets rid of the top card of your opponent's deck. So Chavez will most likely be top card of your opponent's deck, I don't know, later on in the game.
Yes, yep.
So you want to kind of play him later.
Smart.
Daredevil in the deck. He's kind of crucial to plays that you could do with some of the other characters.
Yep.
I've got Armor in there. Armor, I think, is mainly just for destroy decks. If you can stop Nova from being destroyed, it's huge.
Yeah.
I've got Green Goblin, which is awesome. I've got Storm in there. I've got Jubilee, Shang-Chi, Enchantress, Hobgoblin, Chavez, and Magneto.
Okay, so you're kind of, I guess, reacting to what your opponent does.
Yeah.
And then the big finish, I guess. So what cost is Magneto?
Magneto's 6 cost.
Yeah, so your final
power.
so he's your final play, and he drags 3 and 4 cost cards to that location from your opponents.
Correct.
Yep.
So kind of like my usual game is, turns 1 kind of Nightcrawler, 2 Daredevil setting up for later on. 3, I usually go for Storm. Reason being there is because on turn 4, they'll commit like a 3 or 4 cost to that lane, which I can then Magneto out of there, winning that Storm lane because they can't play on it later on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Jubilee can sometimes go into the Storm lane. Shang-Chi, just for something big, if I can see a Chavez or an Apocalypse or Infinite coming. Enchantress stops the Devil Dinos, the Iron Mans, and Hobgoblin specifically for Daredevil. So Daredevil, I see what they're going to do, then I just react with Hobgoblin, and then the last turn's either Chavez or the Magneto.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I like the Hobgoblin play as well, just to you're kind of just stopping them from doing anything useful. And then even when they do think they're going to win locations, you just like rug pull from out from under them.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how often they have 3 characters in one lane, and they're saving that last spot for something big on turn 6. And then I can see exactly what they play on turn 5, and I just block it with a Hobgoblin, and it's game over.
And they can't play anything in that location. You just win it from there. Yeah, that's so cool. I like the thought on playing Yondu later in your turn, because I guess once they've drawn through most of their deck, you guarantee to hit like Chavez or like their stronger, I guess they're end game cards. But yeah, I guess Chavez always being drawn on turn 6 means it's generally going to be you've got more chance of you got more chance of hitting it with Yondu later in the game. That's really cool.
Definitely.
I've been, man, it kind of sucks, but I've pretty much just been playing discard. From as soon as I hit Infinite, I started experimenting with decks, like some destroy decks, ongoing decks, which I play as well. Like I'm not just playing discard, I'm playing like other decks just now that I've hit Infinite and just having fun with the game. But I'm just missing so many pool 3 cards that are, I guess, core to decks. And I think like me and you and a couple of other friends were going through the cards that we all have, and I kept going, oh, I wish I had that card, wish I had that card. And then there's cards that I have that they kind of wish they had as well. But then really, I didn't get any, I guess, like build around cards. Like you guys were just naming like important cards, and I was just missing every single one of them. And I've opened, like this week, I opened like 6-7 collector's caches, and I got Crossbones, and I was like, cool, what am I going to do with that?
Yeah, can't build a deck around that.
No, like I'm missing Magneto and like Mystique, and I'm missing Magic. I'm missing just anything I like that I see a deck list. I'm always missing the core card. Like I can't even build. Like I actually have Mr. Negative, and I got really excited. I'm like, oh, I could build something with this. I'm missing Lockjaw. I'm missing. I think it's Psylocke that lets you play it a turn early with the extra energy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
without that,
I love Mr. Negative though. I wish I had Mr. Negative.
yeah, he's so cool. But without Psylocke and Lockjaw, he's pretty much like, oh, well, even without Lockjaw, he'd be fine. Without Psylocke, I'm always playing him turn 4, and so then I get 2 turns to play cards.
Yeah, which hurts.
And I'm not going to draw. I'm not going to draw them in time to play them. So yeah, it's actually I'm just kind of like, and we'll discuss it, I guess, a bit later, just about how we kind of been discussing this every week, just how slow the progression feels compared to other trading card games. But yeah, like we'll kind of, I guess we'll just digress away from that one because I could go on for half an hour. What's one card you actually? This leads terrible segue. This should have led straight into this one. What card do you wish you had unlocked right now?
Right now, I know we were just talking about it, so it's fresh in my mind. But I have come across lots of Mr. Negative Lockjaw decks.
Yeah.
I think there is potential for a Mr. Negative deck without Lockjaw, but maybe not vice versa. So I think Mr. Negative is the one for me. I think you can play Iron Man, you can play White Tiger, you can play Ironheart.
Yep.
So many, low power, high cost cards.
And you just so for anyone that doesn't know, Mr. Negative, when you play Mr. Negative, he swaps the power and the cost of all cards in your deck. So not in your hand. So you actually have to draw into the cards. That's right, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, funny thing, I was playing a game. I think, what's the location where it puts 10 random cards in your deck?
Oh, yeah, that's actually the worst. I
think it's
probably
Weird
look it up.
World or
yeah,
something.
Weird World. You're right.
And I got Mr. Negative, and I had Iron Man and like White Tiger in hand, and I thought, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'll play Mr. Negative, thinking that it's going to change the cards in my hand, but no, just in deck.
Oh, no, that sucks. But yeah, so it's the cards in deck. So you essentially need a few turns to draw them. And then, so that's the thing, like the way... So do you have Lockjaw unlocked?
I don't have Lockjaw.
Nah, so I think that's also a pretty like important piece as well. But yeah, even just like that main card, like Mr. Negative is probably the coolest pool 3 card I have, but I just can't build anything, I guess, like competitively viable around it. And so I'm kind of I'm trying to think what's one card I wish I had unlocked now. Pretty much any decent pool 3 card is literally my answer. But I guess probably just something I can build around, like a Magneto or I don't know, even Magic. Even just having Magic for that, like that. I love the whole like your opponent plays all their cards on turn 6 and then you reveal Magic and all of a sudden there's a turn 7 and they've already committed to like 2 full locations and things like that. For anyone
Magic's a cool card.
Yeah, anyone that doesn't know Magic, when you play Magic, it turns the location into Limbo, and Limbo is it makes the game have a turn 7, which I think is a cool location, and Magic is a cool card. So I guess that's my one. And then following on from that question, what's one deck you wish you could play right now? You probably already know the answer after that.
Yeah, it would be the Mr. Negative Lockjaw deck. It's so cool. I've come across it multiple times recently, especially. I think probably... Yeah, once after hitting Infinite, I think I've come across it more often. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. I think for me, the deck I wish I could play right now, and nothing to do with Magic. Let's say I'd want to play a Destroyer deck. Again, another pool 3 card I'm missing is Destroyer. And I think like I pretty much have everything to make a good Destroyer deck except Destroyer. So
Destroyer.
Yeah, I love the Destroyer deck. I think it's really cool. Like really can just like throw your opponent off, I guess, with like this big Destroyer play on turn 6. I think it's a really cool like mechanic and deck. So yeah, that's probably what I would play right now if I could. Cool. So I thought we'd do something fun this week, and we've done a little bit of prep. Well, we do prep every week, but we've done a bit of extra prep this week and done a tier list, as promised, of pool 1 cards. It also includes the starter cards. There's not too many of those. And so I've made my tier list, and then Justin's also made the same tier list, a tier list with the same cards. And I guess we're just going to kind of compare them. We're not going to go super in depth into every card and every choice, but we'll go through that and kind of just see our differing opinions. I consider Justin to be quite knowledgeable in trading card games. He knows what he's talking about most of the time, let's say.
Thank
But yeah,
you.
generally, I generally introduce him to the game, and then he generally teaches me how to actually play it properly.
Student becomes the master.
100%. He teaches me how to get good. So how about you give me a card from your tier list, and then I will tell you where that card is on my tier list. So we'll maybe
All right.
yeah, go for it. Go straight in.
I don't know. Are we going through all of them or not?
Let's
top to bottom,
let's
or?
go through all of them, but we'll explain maybe our S tiers and our A tiers and like our bottom tier, and then kind of the middle. We just know they're just good cards. We don't have to go through every single one. So you start. You can start top from the top or the bottom. Go for it.
S tier.
Actually, I might actually bring up my tier list so people kind of have something to look at. That's maybe a good idea. Cool. There we go. All right, you go for it.
I did actually see your video, so I know your tier list.
Okay, cool.
I have a few bones to pick with you about it, but we'll go through it. S tier, I've got the Chavez. I think she's awesome. Playing other trading card games, deck thinning is a must.
Yep.
I think she does really well with that. And then a 9 power for the final turn is pretty good.
Yep.
You can't go wrong, really.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah. Also, S tier, I got Angela and Bishop, which also agrees with yours. They're pretty good for a 2 and 3 drop. Angela can get, 7 power, 9 power. I don't know.
They can get to I think natural 7, and then if you move cards, it can go higher.
Yeah, that's right. Bishop, the same 3 drop, can get pretty crazy with the power.
Yeah.
Also, I've got Nightcrawler in there. I think another one. He's just so versatile. I use him in almost every deck.
Yep.
Just moving him around locations where you can't play cards, you can just move him there. And if your opponent doesn't have a Nightcrawler, it's just a free location.
Yeah.
Also, I got Iron Man in there in the S tier. I agree with that. He's just double power at a location. You can't argue with that.
Yeah.
I think one that I have in there that you don't have in there is Apocalypse.
Interesting. Yep.
Apocalypse. I really rate the discard deck, and I think Apocalypse is just, if you can discard him, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, he can win a location on his own.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's why I just put him in the S tier. I think he's really good.
I guess when you put it like that, he can get above 20 and just win a location on his own. I guess I can see how you would put him in S tier. Yeah, I think I have him in A tier just because he kind of can only really be played if you focus on discarding, which is kind of super specific. But yeah, I do get that out of all the cards in S tier, he's probably the one that can get the biggest out of all of them.
That's right. He can just get massive. As far as my tier list goes, that's all the S tiers that I had.
Interesting.
You were pretty generous.
I was extremely generous. Apparently, I've got an extra 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. So I have Cosmo in there because of his. I have Cosmo in there because he just blocks all ongoing cards. So in my opinion, if someone's playing a lot of ongoing cards, you play Cosmo there and you just win that location. If they have Ant-Man, Dino, and you just can't, and Iron Man, and you just cancel it all. You just can't lose that location. And then
that's
Enchantress.
Enchantress,
Cosmo blocks on reveal.
Correct.
Yes. So see, greatest TCG player. No, yeah, sorry. So Cosmo is okay. Well, let's go with Enchantress first. Everything I just said, Enchantress will just win you that location essentially.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, Cosmo blocks on reveal. So I guess maybe not as powerful as Enchantress because you need to be thinking about what they're going to do in future turns. But there's been many times where a Cosmo's been played at a location. I've then played, for instance, let's say I had Wong at a location. They play Cosmo. I guess you could play Enchantress there as well. Actually, no, Cosmo's better because they'll play Cosmo. And then I will play turn 5. I play Gambit and I play Lady Sif. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to go insane. I'm going to get a huge Apocalypse, bunch of swarms, destroy all their cards. and Cosmo reveals first, and it just blocks my entire turn. So Gambit reveals, does nothing. Lady Sif reveals, does nothing, and Wong was a complete waste.
Can I just say that's where I disagree?
Ooh, okay.
So I reckon Enchantress I had in tier A. The top of tier A. I reckon really good card.
Yep.
The thing with Enchantress is they can set up all game at a location, and then you can just undo all their hard work on turn 6 with an Enchantress.
For
right?
sure.
With Cosmo, I got Cosmo. Where is he? All the way down here, bottom of B tier.
Bottom of B tier. Wow.
Bottom of B tier, just because what you said about predicting the Wong and the on reveals, that is like best case scenario, right?
Of course, yep.
They can work around a Cosmo. So if you put your Cosmo in one lane, they've got 2 other lanes to get their on reveals going.
So on that, when I say so they play Wong turn, I play Wong turn 4. The only turn I have to play the on reveals is turn 5 generally.
Yeah.
So they just completely block the on reveals. And so now my turn 6, I don't have a swarm to play. I have a 8 power apocalypse. I don't destroy any of their cards, and I pretty much retreat, is what I'm saying. Like they're doing it.
Yeah.
So they know that I'm going to play the cards there because I played Wong there. So like it kind of takes the guessing out. But I guess in other circumstances with other decks, you would have to guess where they're going to play the cards. Yeah.
You would have to get. I just feel like Cosmo, you have to get right on the turn that they're playing there on reveals.
Yes.
Otherwise, it can be worked around.
Yep.
Whereas Enchantress, I reckon Enchantress is a much better card.
Yeah, for sure. I think when you put it that way, that makes a lot of sense. I guess I didn't actually put my S tier like in order, but yeah, you're definitely right. I guess Cosmo maybe drops down to an A in that. Oh, I guess for you a B, but in my regards, I guess that makes a ton of sense. That out of those 2 cards, Enchantress is probably the stronger card.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's a very good insight there. Then I have Odin. I had Odin in here pretty much just because if you're playing any on reveal cards, Odin can just make it go stupid, like full dumb.
Odin and Onslaught, I agree, they're A tier.
Yep.
They just they go nuts with the on reveals or the ongoings.
Yes. So putting them in A tier, what's your reason for putting them in A tier over S tier? Is it because you can't use them in every deck, I guess?
Yeah, so S tier I had, obviously you heard my S tiers. The only one that I had in there that can't be used in every deck is Apocalypse, and I just rate Apocalypse as a really good card.
Yep, for sure.
The others I think they can actually be used in any deck.
Yep.
Odin and Onslaught are really good, but they're better in obviously on reveal or ongoing decks.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Cool. So that's both our S tiers. Let's go through your A. Yep.
Electra there.
Oh yes, sorry, I do have Electra there. You are correct. I think the reason I put Electra there is, and it's probably more an early sort of thing when you're starting the game where, actually, not even. I think Electra is a good card later in the game, not playing it turn 1, but playing it maybe turn 3, 4, or 5 when they play a powerful 1-cost card. And like I think of things like Sunspot, things like that where they can get quite big in specific decks, and they can kind of try and use that card to just win a location, and then just a timely Electra can just pretty much like stop that location. It's probably, like, thinking about it now, it's probably an A.
I had Electra in A. She's pretty good.
Yeah, I think you can kind of just splash her in any deck. Especially early on in the game. So I think that's probably why I have her in S tier. But yeah, maybe as you progress along through the game, she probably isn't as important. So yeah, that definitely makes sense. Let's go through your A tier as well.
Yep. So A tier, I had Enchantress. We've already spoken about her. I have Devil Dino there. Devil Dinosaur. I reckon he's an awesome card. I used him a lot when I first started. I have Armor there. I have Electra. I have Heimdall, which you've also got. I'm just trying to see ones that we agree on. I've got Moon Girl there.
Yep.
I've got Odin and Onslaught up there. I've got Scarlet Witch in the A tier. Wolfsbane. And I've also put Yondu in there. I think Yondu is an awesome card. Like I said before, I use him in the deck that I'm currently using just to get rid of the Chavez, hopefully.
I think after you explained your use of Yondu, it definitely makes sense that you would put it in A tier. It is actually quite a powerful card the way you described the use of it.
Yeah. I've also got I've got a couple of spare cards in there as well. I've got Carnage in A tier.
Okay, yep.
I think Carnage is an awesome card. I did go through a Nova Carnage deck, even though we didn't see the full power of Nova Carnage because apparently it was really crazy when Nova added +2 power when it got destroyed to all cards on board.
Yeah, so it's funny. We had this conversation last week about, because in Australia we didn't get the beta from the start, we actually didn't see the cards that the way they were before their nerfs. Nova giving +2 is actually like, it's kind of mind-boggling thinking about it
It's
in
insane.
hindsight. Yeah.
I also had Lady Sif in A.
Yep.
I know that, I think all my other discard cards are probably in a lower tier, but Lady Sif is just because it's a controlled discard. She's always discarding that Apocalypse. Yeah. I think that's really important.
I think on Carnage, I think I put Carnage in B because yes, he does have a powerful ability and synergy, but he's kind of very focused in what he does. You can't really just throw him in any deck. You kind of have to play him. And I think, yes, he can like do synergy, but as a card himself, he really only gets to like 6 power, like without like other synergies.
Yeah, that is true.
And then Lady Sif, I think I put her in the upper part of B tier because of, like you said, she can just discard Apocalypse and make like your board ridiculous. I think just she's kind of weak in that you're kind of telling your opponent that you're going to have this big Apocalypse. So when they know that, they have that prior knowledge, they can just go, as soon as the Apocalypse hits 24 and they're losing, they just hit retreat straight away. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I think one other card that I had in there is Korg. I'm not 100% sure why I put Korg in A. I mean, if you're playing that first turn, it can hurt your opponent, but maybe not A. Maybe he's probably a B tier, to be honest.
Yep, fair. I got him down in C. You did put this together pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But you've done a very good job. I'm just thinking, so do you have Khazar in there?
No, so Khazar I've got in B tier.
Okay, yep. Interesting. You got Claw?
Claw in B tier as well. I know you really like Claw.
I actually really like Claw. I'll explain why. Khazar, did you have anything to say about Khazar?
Khazar's pretty good, but I haven't really come across many Zoo decks recently. So everyone's kind of trying to go tall instead of wide, I guess. Not a lot of 1-drops going because of Killmonger.
Yeah.
You run Killmonger in your deck, you just destroy all 1-drops, so Khazar's kind of useless. So I think everyone's kind of maybe skeptical on using him.
I think that's a fair reason to put Khazar in B. I think I put Khazar in A as is just because his ongoing ability is just all your 1 costs get +1. I think of it as like a massive buff to your board. But I guess, in thinking that Killmonger is an easy counter, it definitely makes sense putting that in B. Now, Claw, the reason I have Claw in A, I think Claw is just really good for... So, for instance, you were saying with Nightcrawler being super good because you can move Nightcrawler to a location that cards can't be played. In that same vein, Claw can give that location +5 power, I guess, if it's the middle or the right location. So them playing, Nightcrawler moving Nightcrawler turn 5 or 6, me dropping a Claw on turn 5 or turn 6 can just make them lose that location.
Yeah, I do get that.
And also, I guess, synergies with like Devil Dinosaur. If I play Devil Dinosaur on the right location, I can still get a 4 power in the middle, but also buff Devil. Like, I can buff that location that, or even like, say I have four cards there. My opponent goes, well, I can just win that location. Claw can give that +5 to get you over the line as well.
It is a good card. I just think that if you want to win the location that you're playing Claw on, as well as the location to the right, 5 cost for the 4 power in the location you're playing him is not great.
I guess you got to kind of think of him as like a 9 power for 5 cost.
Yeah.
Because you're getting, I know you're splitting it, but I think of like, if you play an Onslaught on turn 6, your location to the right is getting 10 plus your 4. So I guess, you're probably right. You probably already need to be winning that left or middle location that you play Claw at.
Yeah, but I see the argument. It's a good card.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my reason for putting it in A, but I can understand putting it in B. So Moon Girl, did we have Moon Girl?
We had Moon Girl in A.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Professor X.
Professor X. Where is Professor X? I have him in B tier. But
Yep.
I think to be honest, with Daredevil especially being introduced, I think Professor X should definitely be bumped up to an A tier like you've got.
Yeah, I think with Daredevil, it just made him more viable in that you don't have to guess where to play him on turn 5. You kind of just have that
100%.
knowledge, and you can
Yeah.
just some games you can just win a location on turn 5. I think that's why he's probably stronger now than he was before Daredevil. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It was kind of a guessing game before.
Yeah, 100%. Spectrum.
Spectrum I've got in B tier. I really, as you can probably tell, I don't really use ongoing decks all that much.
Yeah.
I think you've rated Claw, Spectrum, and a couple others a bit higher than I have.
Yeah, I don't mind ongoing decks, and Spectrum seems kind of lackluster at first, but when your entire board is ongoing cards, playing Spectrum turn 6 can be really dumb because you're getting essentially, if you've got 4 cards at a location, you're getting +8.
Yeah.
So if you fill up 2 locations even, or like you fill up 1 location and you have a spot empty in another location, play Spectrum, you're getting what, +8, +6, plus and the 4 on Spectrum. It's kind of dumb.
It is really good.
But it is very specialized. You do have to have a lot of ongoing cards to, I guess, make use of her.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch we both had.
Scarlet Witch, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you kind of showed me how important Scarlet Witch was.
Yeah.
I didn't really rate her. I didn't like putting her in the deck. Felt like a waste of space, but she is pretty good. She can win your games.
Yeah, a lot of people I hear say Scarlet Witch, oh, I play Scarlet Witch and I lost. It's like you're not playing Scarlet Witch if you're happy with the location. You're playing Scarlet Witch as a way to, I guess, win a location that you otherwise would have lost. Yeah.
Correct.
So yeah, Scarlet Witch actually super important card, guys. I rate it very highly. Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman I didn't have in my A tier. I had her in B tier.
Yep.
I was using her for a little bit in one of my decks, but I just feel like 4/4 is really not great, and at best she's a 4/8 on a full location.
Yeah.
Because she's taking one away from each opposing character.
Yeah,
she's okay.
That definitely makes sense. I think her best use is at a location with Iron Man. So giving those -1s can make Iron Man's power drop significantly. The buff that Iron Man's giving significantly. And I guess if they've already got a location with 4 cards, and you need, you play Spider-Woman to get those -1s. Yeah, I guess I can see the argument for putting in B tier. I just find playing Spider-Woman on an Iron Man is actually like kind of crazy. And then of course there's other uses for Spider-Woman. She does, it's a pretty decent ability. White Queen.
White Queen I also had in A.
Yeah.
Sorry, in B I had her. I think. Yeah, I put her in B.
Yep.
Definitely a good card. I mean, a 4/6 can't complain with that, and draws it's her ability.
So she draws the copy of the highest cost card in your opponent's hand.
Yeah, I can see that being A tier. It's pretty good.
Yeah, so like I find like if I see them discarding cards, they get their Apocalypse to like 18. You play White Queen, and now you've got an 18 Apocalypse.
Yeah, it is awesome.
And so all of a sudden, they've kind of just foiled their own, I guess, strategy because now you're playing a card as strong as theirs. And then White Tiger.
White Tiger, nah. White Tiger's okay.
I think what would you have it as?
Like lower B tier.
Yep.
She's all right. Like in an Odin deck, I guess you would use her. She's all right.
I think she's just got a soft spot in my heart from the Odin White Tiger deck from the early days of Marvel Snap. I think it's just you think a 5/1 cost is just terrible, but an important thing White Tiger can do is it can also get a card into a location where cards can't be played. So I guess another counter to Nightcrawler as well. But yeah, it's definitely like it's underwhelming compared to I guess other 5-cost cards. So we'll maybe bump White Tiger down to a B. And then Wolfsbane we both had, yes.
Wolfsbane we both had.
Yeah, Wolfsbane's just like play the card as the last card. You get like a 7 power for what 3 cost or not? What is it? 2, 4, 6.
3 cost for
Yeah, so like just a
7 power, pretty good.
Pretty good. Cool. And then I guess our B tier is just a bunch, like all of these cards are okay. They have good abilities, but game breaking. They're not like, you're not like just winning a game off the back of one of these cards. I guess like multiple man, I guess with synergies you can like do really well, but I think as like a card and ability, they're not like impacting your entire board, I guess, or like
they're kind of more probably support cards, cards that belong in decks that have other win conditions that are not these cards.
For sure. Like I think of multiple men as an example. Without something like Heimdall and other move cards like Doctor Strange, it's kind of a terrible card. Like it needs those cards to, I guess, like win games. So they're part of the win condition, but they're not the card that gives you that win condition for sure. And I think, so we probably have fairly similar lists. Was there anything? Was there anything in mind that stood out to you as like completely wrong in B?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Two cards that I think are absolute trash that you've got in B.
Okay.
The first one is Morph. I put Morph down in my lowest, or actually my second lowest in D tier. I just think, like, I don't see the point in Morph. I think, why would you want to play something from your opponent's hand that you have no control over when you can just play your own card?
Yep, for sure. What's the on reveal of Morph? Sorry, what's the power or the cost of Morph? I'm just trying to think.
3.
It's 3, yeah. So my theory is you can be playing a 3 power Morph and end up with a 18 power Apocalypse on turn 3.
You can also play a 3 power Morph and get a I don't know, a 1/2 Quicksilver.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I think you're playing similar to, like, because you're not playing Morph till turn 3, turn 4. You can pull something good, and I think the way that the game is made, if I get a bad Morph play, I can just retreat, and so I don't get punished for it. But there will be games where I just end up with an 18 Apocalypse on turn 3, and then still play my 4, 5, and 6 cost cards. So I can definitely see your argument against it. I put it in B tier because, yes, it can do some crazy things, but like you said, it's not consistent. So I don't think it's a trap.
I just can never see myself playing it.
I would rather for sure.
Another 3 drop. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. That makes sense. I think that's probably my reason for. That's probably my reason for not putting it in like C or D tier. But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And what's your other card that's absolutely garbage?
Other card that I put last on D list, if there was an E tier, I would have put it in E tier, is the Watcher.
The Watcher, interesting.
I think the Watcher is horrible. Like it's an okay card effect. You get to see the unknown locations, which is fine. But two things. The first one is that he doesn't start in your hand. Like, if he started in your hand every game, he's kind of viable, but like he doesn't. So he's just a dead draw after the first 3 turns.
You actually make a good point now that I think about, you don't always start with him. Yep. Yeah,
and the second point is that, like you were saying before with Morph, if you get something bad with Morph, you can just retreat. And same thing with locations. So if you play a card somewhere and it just doesn't benefit you, you just retreat and you lose one cube. I'm not wasting a space in my deck for something that's going to show me a location when I can just retreat for 1 cube if I don't like it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess when you put it that way, that definitely makes sense. I think the reason I think the Watcher's okay, it's really the ability. If you start with the Watcher in hand, which, I mean, having 4 cards to start, you're starting with it, 1/3 of the time at least?
Yeah.
So you're starting with it 1/3 of games, and you say if you can see a location where cards can't be played here, you can spend turn 1 or turn 2, even turn 1, turn 2, even turn 3 playing. When's the third unlock? On turn 3. So turn 1 and turn 2, you can play the cards there, full knowing that as long as your opponent doesn't, you probably just win that location. I guess in how you've put it, if you're starting 1 out of 3 games with this, and that location's coming up 1 in 10 games, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably not actually using the ability that much for your advantage. And
I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, and like you said, you can just retreat for that 1 cube. Same reason you'd retreat if someone gets a high roll Morph. Okay, so let's say maybe I drop Watcher to a C. I'm not putting him in D tier because what's your D tier looking like? So we've got the Infinite Snap logo there, but I can probably zoom in a bit at this terrible
My D tier
D
is
tier.
it's made up of like just all the vanilla cards. So you got Shocker,
Yeah.
Cyclops,
Yep.
Abomination, Misty Knight,
Yep.
the Thing.
Yep.
I put Hulk in C tier.
Yep. Same.
Just because I don't know, a 611, like it's not bad.
It's not.
Um, D tier's also got Quicksilver and Domino.
Yep.
I think they're trash.
Yep.
It's also got, like we spoke about, Morph and the Watcher. I
Yeah.
think they're right down there. And it's also got Hawkeye. I don't think Hawkeye's a good card.
Nope.
And Medusa.
Yep.
Medusa's just very average.
I think all these cards we're saying, Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, that all have the same ability, just at different powers and costs. I think they're really sort of there to introduce people to the game. We get all these cards at the start, and it's kind of, I guess, not to overwhelm you with abilities to start the game. Like playing with Hawkeye, Star-Lord, Medusa early on, it was very easy for me to grasp the concepts and the abilities. And I really think that's all they're there for. I don't think you're putting these in any competitive decks. Like you said, I put Abomination in C, I think just because 5 costs 8 power, but that's just not great.
I did get Patriot recently though, which is
damn it, something I don't
yeah.
have.
So I'm kind of keen on trying a deck with all these vanilla cards and putting Patriot in there, and I don't know, Blue Marvel or something along those lines.
I think that totally works as a deck. I think it's completely viable. And it is. I guess it's cool that there's a card later on that can make all these cards viable again. Not just from the first 20 levels. You can actually play these later on, which is kind of cool. I guess it makes these cards not obsolete, even though we're putting them in D tier now. They're not completely obsolete in the future. Cool. Well, I guess that wraps it up for our tier list. I think that was a pretty good insight into our thoughts. Obviously, we weren't going to go through every card, but we got through most of the important ones, which is cool. Cool. So a very interesting. This is a good personal question for you. What's your favorite card from the list and why? Off this pool 1 list.
I would have to go with Nightcrawler or Chavez. They're just so versatile. Like I said, I can put them in any deck. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'd have to go with.
Yep, that's cool. And I think for me, my favorite card out of the tier list, I'm going to go with, I'm looking up because that's where I've got my tier list. I'm going to go with, I want to say Apocalypse as well, but that just seems like an easy answer. I'm going to go with Claw. I'm going to stick with my guns. Claw.
You do like Claw.
Claw can win you, Claw can just win you, like you can just get dumb wins with Claw, and I just laugh sometimes. It helps you with those. You know what it really helps with? This is just nothing to do with ranking up. When you have to win a location with one card. Yeah. So you have a 14 power Dino, and then you play Claw, and you've got 19 an Onslaught. You got a 25 power with just one card there, and I think that it just it helps you complete that location pretty quickly.
I say that.
Yeah, but no, Claw. I think Claw's a decent card. Cool, and then. We're talking about counter cards. So, I think of Enchantress, Cosmo. Do you think they're counters, Shang-Chi even? Do you think those are we talk about Apocalypse and all that, but do you think these counter cards are the best cards in the game? Do you think that?
I wouldn't say the best cards in the game.
Okay, yeah.
I think Enchantress probably is my favorite counter card.
Yep.
I just think again she's so versatile. The other ones like Cosmo have specific plays that you have to think of what your opponent's going to do. But
yeah, for sure.
Enchantress you can play after the fact of what your opponent's done.
Yeah.
So I think Enchantress is really important.
Yeah.
I think she could be up there with one of the best cards. Yeah.
Cool. And follow-up question: how many times have you lost to Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi, many times. Many times.
Oh, that's cool. Cool. So we've gone, man. We've it's a bit of a long one, but we've just got a few more things that we'll go through. It's fine. It's a podcast. Next season pass. We're getting close. I think we've got a week left of the Daredevil, the Heroes for Hire season. Yep. What theme would you like to see if you could pick a Marvel theme for the next season pass?
Is it what I would like to see or what I think is going to happen?
Oh, let's go what you would like to see and then what you think it'll be.
All right. What I would like to see, best character in the MCU ever,
Here we go.
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Love Deadpool.
Sick.
Love the movies. Would love to see a season pass with Deadpool. He's got some characters that can have some art variants, like
Yep.
Deadpool. Colossus is from Deadpool. I think Cable is from Deadpool.
Yeah.
Characters they could add: Negasonic, Ajax, something different.
Yeah, cool. I guess that'd be a pretty cool theme. I feel like since the Deadpool films, people have been like I guess Deadpool, like unless you were like super into like Marvel, people probably didn't know who Deadpool was until like the Ryan Reynolds films. But
I don't think I did.
yeah, I think from like as soon as the Ryan Reynolds films hits, people are like, well, this is a cool character, and started looking into it more, and like, which is cool. Like, I mean, people can kind of crap on, oh, it's like it's a movie, like blah 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 blah. But I think it's kind of like it can introduce you, and then you search for more content of those like characters, which I think is cool. I think for me, and what theme do you think it's actually going to be with no prior knowledge?
I guess Hulk, She-Hulk, like the series is coming out. I guess they maybe should have done it for the last season, which they didn't.
Yeah.
But I assume that's probably what they will go with to promote the show. Maybe I don't know.
It's interesting because when they heard when we got the hints for the Heroes for Hire season pass, my thought went straight to Daredevil as like the MCU lawyer, but everyone went straight to She-Hulk because of the TV show. And it sucks because I never voiced that opinion online, so I have no proof that was my thought process. But I told everyone, and then
you did not tell me.
Maybe I didn't tell you. I definitely told Tom. No. We can get Tom to confirm that. I definitely told Tom that, and then Tom's just gonna say I'm a liar, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And so I definitely that's what went to me, and that's probably because I love Daredevil as a character. I feel like for them to do another lawyer just would be weird, but like everyone thought it was She-Hulk. My thought process is, I think having the Marvel IP, I don't think they have any ties or any like, not want, but I don't think they're going to go out of their way to promote other MCU stuff, any Marvel stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, and spoilers, because I didn't know She-Hulk was a lawyer, but fair enough.
What do you mean?
I haven't seen the show.
But the show's called She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. You didn't know the tagline, did you?
Did not know the tagline.
Cool. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, which we're going to talk about in a moment, actually. We've got a short little section on that. Cool. I think for me, theme I'd like to see, I have no idea what theme they're going to do. There's just literally no information. What theme would I like to see? I was trying to think. I don't think I really have a favorite Marvel character. I really like Punisher as a villain, but that was pretty much Heroes for Hire. Let's go with a Guardians of the Galaxy theme.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be cool. I mean, the cards kind of suck though. Actually, yeah, but the cards suck. We don't want a Guardians.
The cards do suck.
What if they release a card? Hang on, they release a card that just makes all of the Guardians cards good. Just anything that gets a plus. I don't know how they even word that, but anything that gets a plus for a card that your opponent played at the location. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool.
I see where you're going with that. I know what you mean.
But you need a keyword in there somewhere to make it work.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's fine. I guess that's my answer for this season. On the season pass, the structure of it, there's been like a lot of talk about how it's structured and if it's like you get your money's worth. People complain there's too many tiers with boosters in them, and you get so many boosters that you don't care about because you get so many just for playing. I got cards with like hundreds of boosters that I don't even have the credits to upgrade right now, so it kind of feels bad. Do you think we get our money's worth currently with the season pass structure?
I think if you're paying for the season pass
sure,
and you get all of the rewards, I think it's definitely worth it. You're getting credits. Yeah, you're getting boosters, but that's just a part of the game. You're getting some variants, some card backs, some avatars, gold, credits. I reckon it's pretty. You're definitely getting value. Because if you're trying to buy gold off the shop with real money and then transferring it into credits, it's pretty expensive. You're not getting your money's worth.
Yeah, for sure.
At all. Yeah.
I think you also get a guaranteed variant. We get the Daredevil variant, but you also get like a random variant or 2 of them. I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure. So I guess
And you unlock the new card straight away, which is awesome.
yeah, for sure. I think a variant's like 750 gold in the store. So you're kind of already getting your money's worth just on the variants.
Definitely.
So I definitely agree. I definitely think it's oh, actually you might get one of those random variants for free even if you don't buy it. Yeah, so like you get like I think you're getting your money's worth no matter what. Like even if that variant is free, you're still getting like tons of value rather than just buying gold and like spending it on credits, like you said. And then so follow-up question on that, do you see yourself not buying a season pass in the future? Like is there a reason that you wouldn't buy a month's like a season pass?
I think I honestly don't spend a lot of money on mobile games season passes. I have to really like the game. At the moment, I think I will always buy the season pass for Marvel Snap for as long as I'm playing it, as long as I see the value in it. If I'm picking up the game at least, I don't know, once a day, playing a game a day, I'll probably get the season pass.
Yeah.
If the game really dies out and I'm just not playing anymore, then obviously I won't. But yeah, I can't see myself not getting it at the moment.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that. I think if you're like, it's kind of like you don't have to buy it, but it's kind of like your fee for playing the game. I think to level up at an efficient rate, like obviously I think the leveling is still too slow. But like if you don't get the season pass, I feel like you're leveling it like that little bit slower. Like with all the gold that I get, I'm generally just going straight to the store and buying credits, so just getting extra credits that way.
Yeah.
Haven't got big into variants or anything yet. I think I'm just want to level up, you know. And so yeah, I think as long as I play it as well, even if it's like a terrible card that I couldn't care less about, I'm probably going to be buying it anyway. And I think most people who take the game seriously or play any other trading card games or digital trading card games will understand that $15, like for us, it's 15 Australian dollars a month, is actually kind of cheap for a game.
It's nothing. Yeah.
I think about Hearthstone, I probably like to play that, like to have like a choice of decks that you want to play, you're probably spending at least $100 Australian dollars plus every 3-4 months with the new season. Every 4 months. So to me, $15 a month is what? That's $60 every 4 months. What's that? $180 a year. That's like extremely cheap for any trading card game, really.
Definitely.
So I think it's definitely. I want to support the developers as well, as do you. You know, we want the game to thrive. If no one's paying money, then how are they supposed to pay? How's anyone going to work? How they keep the lights on? You know.
Yeah, I want the game to last, to be honest. I'm happy to pay that $15 a month or whatever it is for the game to last.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like we're also, I guess, for like the people that are buying stuff, buying variants, you're also helping fund those people that don't spend money on the game. You know, you got people, we've got younger players, you know, people that, you know, they enjoy the game, they enjoy Marvel, but, you know, it's not, they don't play it enough that they want to be spending money on it every month. And I think we're also, I guess, kind of like, you're helping the player base by spending a little bit of money here and there. And like we said, like if you're like us, we're happy to pay. Like I spend so much money on like physical card games and board games and stuff. Like the $15 feels like absolutely nothing, you know. I mean, if you're subscribing to, you know, a Twitch channel or something, you know, you're paying that anyway every month. You know, a couple of Twitch channels, same thing. So, you know, your Spotify, your Netflix, it's all, you know, your $15 a month. So. I definitely think it's. I can see myself buying all of them until I stop playing. Cool.
That's actually a good point. I'm pretty sure I have Netflix and Stan, which is what, like around that mark as well, $15 a month. I think. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I watched something on Stan.
For those that don't live in Australia, Stan is just another streaming service. We just have a million of them now. Just another like video streaming service. Cool. So hot off the press. I've got some interesting news. I don't know if we call it news. It's kind of news, so I'm just bringing up my notes. Hot off the press. I read this just before we recorded. Megan Thee Stallion. I'm just gonna assume you guys know who that is. If you don't, just Google it. She is a singer/rapper. Yeah.
Yeah.
She has confirmed that she will be appearing in She-Hulk: Attorney at Law.
Okay.
There's nothing really else been said about it other than she confirmed that she will be in it. My question to you is, will she play a hero, a villain, a regular person, or will she play Megan Thee Stallion? Will her persona be in the MCU?
That's a good one. Firstly, not sure how I feel about her being in the show.
Ooh, interesting.
Maybe it is good for good for the show, to be honest. I mean, people do like Megan Thee Stallion, so maybe she'll promote the show a little bit. I wouldn't have thought of her being in the show as herself.
Yep.
I would never have thought that, but after you said it, it made sense. Something that she would do, I guess.
Well,
So
I think like
it's a possibility.
yeah, I think like there's a lot of movies and stuff where people just play themselves. Like
Yeah.
they're like they need like a famous person, and then all of a sudden, like I think of like a movie I saw, Uncut Gems, where like The Weeknd was just in the film as himself,
I've seen that,
because it
yeah.
was like the real world. And I guess the MCU is kind of like an alternate world, so I guess it could make sense. So what's your final answer on who she will play?
I think she's got like, especially rappers and pop stars. They have that persona where I don't know. I guess she may be seen as a little bit, I don't know, up herself maybe. So I feel like she could definitely play herself. I think that's my answer.
Okay, you're saying she's
I
playing
like
herself.
it.
I like that.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Megan Thee Stallion is up herself. No, we're jokes. I actually think it's a good thing having like I think of Megan Thee Stallion. I know I've seen some posts about her doing like a bunch of. She went to, I think she was in. Wait, was it Megan Thee Stallion that was in Japan? Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. No, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. I'm pretty sure I saw that she was in Japan, and she was kind of like she went to Super Nintendo World, and like just doing
That's
some
pretty
like
cool.
yeah, just like checking out the gamer scene. I guess I need to confirm that was actually Megan Thee Stallion. Maybe I like read a Megan Thee Stallion ad and then like read another ad about someone.
Yeah, no,
Do you
you're right.
fact check that? Yeah, I was like, I'm
Had a
sure.
great time at Japan's Super Mario World.
Super
Yeah.
Mario World. Yeah, I was like sure that I read that. Cool. What did I say? Super Nintendo World. Me on my
Yeah.
me playing Super Nintendo, just like it like on top of a world. Cool.
Actually, you're right. Super Nintendo World Amusement Park.
Yeah. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. It's not Super Mario
Yeah,
World.
that's
Isn't
right.
that a video game?
Super
Super Mario.
Nintendo World.
Super Mario World
Alright,
is definitely a video
you are
game.
correct.
I am correct. I'm correcting myself. I corrected myself for being incorrect, even though I was correct. That's say that 5 times fast.
It's because I'm usually right, so you're used to it.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair. No, you know what? I'll take that. When it comes to card games, you usually are. Cool. Yeah, I reckon she's gonna play. I reckon she's gonna play a regular human. No. I take that back. I reckon she's gonna play a hero, and she gets in a pickle, and she needs a lawyer. There you go. Boom.
Ooh,
So
interesting.
she's not gonna. I don't
for
think.
for the one episode or
Yeah.
ongoing?
No, one episode. Like she'll just be
One
like,
episode.
yeah. I don't think it's gonna be an ongoing thing. I reckon hero. She did say on her Instagram that she wants to she wants to be an actress, producer, director. Like she wants to do all that stuff. So like who knows? But I think to start off, she's gonna do like one episode of She-Hulk. Boom. That's my answer.
I can see that.
Cool. So we've never really done any like MCU news, but that was just a like little tangent I thought I'd throw in there because I found it quite interesting when I read it. Cool. Now to everyone's favorite game, the only reason people actually listen to the end of the podcast is named by who named this game, Justin?
I actually named this game. Had a brilliant idea.
Yes.
Snap who, gotta love it.
Snap who with a question mark. Like guess who? And you know what's the funniest thing ever? And I should have got the photo for the podcast. I was like online and you just get ads for things. And I had an ad and it had to be because I typed Snap Who in somewhere. I had an ad for Marvel Guess Who. It is an
You did show me that.
It is an actual.
That's pretty hilarious.
It's an actual board game and it made me laugh. I thought it was really funny. So Snap Who. I've made so we've got. I'm on 2 points. Tom, who's not here today, is on 5 points. He guessed correctly. So normally he would be asking for me, which we will do next week. But this week I'm going to ask you. To pick, I'm going to pick a card and you're going to have to guess it. And I'm going to have a tally of our guests. So I'll have the individual guests, but I guess I'll just combine all our guests' answers. Like they can be the third player. So let's get straight into it. I have a card here. I'm going to give you, for those who haven't played, you guys can play at home. You can just pause the podcast and you can try and guess as well. I'm going to give you the ability of a Marvel Snap card. You have to guess the power, the cost, and the name of the card, and you get 1 point for each, so you can get a maximum of 3 points. So here we go. The ability is on reveal, return your other cards at this location to your hand. They cost 1 less. Ooh.
I know who it is.
Okay.
I think it's Falcon.
I can't tell you to the end. All right.
All right. I think it's Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really come across him that much, so I don't think. Actually, maybe I've unlocked him. But I
no
really
cheating.
can't remember. I really can't remember what the power or cost is. I'm gonna say I'm locking in Falcon.
Okay.
I'm gonna say he's I reckon he's either a 3 or 4 power.
Okay.
3 or 4 cost. I think he's 3 cost,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say 2 power.
Wow. That is okay. Interesting. That's final answers.
Am I way off? That's final answers.
Yeah, well, we'll lock it in there. So you got one right, but you were way off.
Really?
This is the card. I've brought up Falcon as well, just so you can see. Let's show you Falcon first.
Oh wow! All right,
I'm going to show you Falcon first. Greatest TCG player ever, guys. Here we go. This is the card that you guessed. Falcon's ability is, on reveal, return your 1 cost cards to your hand. Which is not the ability that I read out. Yeah, so...
Okay, it's very similar.
So you were thinking of the... So you actually got the power right of the card. Obviously, it's not correct on Falcon. But the card that I chose was Beast. So Beast's ability is, on reveal, return your other cards at this location to your hand, and they cost 1 less. So I think the fact that I said 1 cost in the sentence... Like the end of this
It threw me off big time.
I didn't even choose Beast like with this idea to throw someone into guessing Falcon, but now that I read it out, they have similar wording. Like this is return your other cards at this location. Falcon is return your 1 cost cards, which doesn't return everything. And then, but because I said they cost 1 less, I think it threw you just a little bit.
It really threw me off.
That's great.
I think I've come across Falcon a couple of times.
Yeah.
I've never come across Beast.
Yeah, so Beast is a 2 power, 2 cost card. So you got the power right. So that is 1 point this week.
Kind of sad.
I was like when I was picking a card, I'm like, Justin knows, he's been playing a ton of Marvel Snap. He's going to guess this one. So I'm going to pencil you down for 1 point. Our guest is on 1, which would put them at the bottom of the leaderboard. Unfortunately. That's funny. No, that's, we've kind of, as we've been playing, Tom and I have, we haven't had too many, it's only been a few weeks, but we got most of it right. I think that was a bit of a curveball there.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Although you said to me, you wouldn't do a pool 3.
That's not pool 3. Beast isn't pool 3, is he?
I reckon.
Maybe you're right.
I don't think I've unlocked Beast.
Oh, no, then that's like super unfair. Oh, you're right. It is a pool 3 card. Cheater. Falcon's a pool 3 card as well, so.
Yeah, fair.
But yes, did I say that to you? I think I might have. I feel bad now.
Off the record, I reckon.
Off the record. Okay, well, that is that's it for Snap Who for this week. Everybody's favorite game show. Guys, that's all we've got for today. A big thanks to Justin for joining us. I hope to have him on a future episode. Plenty of knowledge into trading card games as well as Marvel Snap. Teaches me a thing or two pretty much every time we hang out and play games. So thank you for hanging out. Guys, thanks for watching or listening to the podcast. We've got the official Infinite Snap Twitter now at Infinite Snap Pod, because unfortunately Infinite Snap was taken. I got to get it on the overlays for the stream next week. I'm a bit lazy today. Justin, is there anything you wanted to say? Any social media you wanted to plug? I know you're a pretty private person online.
Yeah, no, I don't really create any content myself, but thanks for having me. It's been an awesome podcast. Look forward to it every Wednesday, and I'd be happy to come back anytime. Yeah,
for sure. We're definitely going to have you on in the future. Guys, if you want to watch the podcast, if you're listening on a podcast app, you can watch us in video on YouTube, and Spotify podcast actually allows you to watch video as well, which is really cool. So you can definitely watch the podcast when we're talking about tier lists and things like that. You can visually see what we're talking about. Guys, if you have any questions for the podcast, you can ask us on, you can comment on YouTube, you can, DM us, you can tweet at us a question, Infinite Snap Pod. Go and follow that and we'll definitely answer your questions on the next episode. And guys, if you want, join the Discord. I've got the Discord link there. I'll have it in the show notes. Definitely join the Discord. We've got some chat rooms in there to talk about Marvel Snap and other things. We've got some off-topic areas if you just want to have a chat with other community members of the Marvel Snap community. Definitely do that. Guys, thanks so much. Had a ton of fun this episode, and we'll catch you in the next one next week. Hopefully Tom will be back, and we'll definitely have Justin back, which will be really good. Anything to say, Justin?
Thank you. Just keep doing what you're doing. Love your work.
Appreciate it. That's final words from Justin. So that's us for the episode. Catch you guys. Have a good week.
See you guys.